hope you are too. Quite a game at Meade Stadium on Saturday. High-level game between your squad in New Hampshire. You guys with a big fourth quarter come out with a 38-27 win. What did you like about the way your team played?
It's kind of been the telltale of what we're all about, just kind of finding ways to find ways at the end of the game right now to be able to put it away. I mean, I think that, it was a typical UNH, URI football game. It was physical. It was well competed on both sides of the ball by both teams. I think that, at the end of the day, glad we found a way to win, but if you start looking and just dissecting the game, I mean, we started off about as poorly as you could. We had 2 3-and-outs on offense, shank punt, a block punt. We were kind of lucky to be only down 7-0. Middle eight, we lost 14-7, but we were able to salvage 7 points, with an incredible 2-minute drive right at the end of the half. Fourth quarter was our sweet spot, 21-0 in that. We were 10 points down going into the fourth quarter, but at the end of the day, I'm most pleased we improved as a football team. Our effort improved, our physicality improved, and we still left a lot out there. And that was kind of the message to the kids today. You had some highlights and some lowlights, but we've got to be able to cure this injury bug. That's the thing that's not injury bug. The penalties that we're getting are taking away huge plays for us. We had a 3rd and 10, get off the field down. Defensive PI, we had a 24-yard gain on a sweep to Barrow, and had a holding call, bring that back. We had a 45-yard punt return with a stupid block in the back. So we've got a lot of things that we can continue to improve on, but I was really pleased to be able to get another CAA victory versus a quality opponent.
Certainly a lot of standouts on the offensive side of the ball, but maybe the biggest is Brendan Barrow that he touched on. 14 carries, 111 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Just talk about the day that he had and what a compliment that he provides with Antoine Littleton.
Yeah, I think it's huge. We've been waiting for it all year long. He's been hobbled with some hamstring issues all the way through, from summer training all the way through training camp. He's finally gotten healthy, and he gave us the spark that we've been looking for. I've always imagined our backfield with a thunder and lightning component between those two guys, plus a couple other guys that we can throw in there to keep them fresh. He obviously got Littleton who can bang it up in there, and still, has been very productive and then carried the load the entire first half of the year. But then to be able to get a little change of speed in there and some dynamic ability to get, to go the distance is critically important. And I think that it will open up our choices offensively as we go down the stretch here. So I was really happy for him. He's a kid who's a journeyman. Graduated from Stanford, really had not too many opportunities. So I think that he ended up embracing the moment and really showed up in a big time way to help us win the game.
Question for you from Mark Singleton. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey Jim, how are you?
Good, Mark. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. You said after Saturday's game that belief in life is everything. Even midway through your tenure at URI, when you were fighting through like 2 and 3 win seasons, what made you believe that you could get the program to this point where you're like a team to beat in the CAA now?
If you don't have a belief, and then really I'm not doing my job. It's been a tough job. It's been a good transition, but I've always believed that no matter what, if you can get 11 people out there, that will play extremely hard and be able to find ways to play the game the proper way, you're going to have a chance to be in games. So, belief just can't be shaken. I mean, you've got to have it. Certainly they're trying times, but, I don't know what kept me so stubborn. I'm a stubborn Irishman that, believes that we can win anywhere and win with anybody. I thought that back in 2014. I might have been mistaken, but I did think that each year we were through those tough years. We lost 2 games a year that we should have put in the pocket. And, I think we've just been able to turn the corner just in terms of expectation and belief that when we take the field, we have an opportunity to win, and then we've been finding ways to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question from Steve. Good morning. Go ahead, Steve.
Thanks, Rob. Morning, Coach. Coach, you mentioned earlier 21-0 in that fourth quarter. So far this year, you're outscoring your opponent 66-10 in that fourth quarter. Anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everything to that. I mean, it's an emphasis by our program. It's something that, I learned in my formative years that the performance in the fourth quarter was critical. As I just said, if you compete and you play the game the right way, and you don't do the things that hurt you, you'll probably be in most games in the fourth quarter. I prefer not to be down 10 points, but I mean, at the same time as, if you have that resilience and you have that playmaking ability, you got a chance to be able to get yourself in striking range. But, when you're playing with fire, if you're unable to make a couple of those third down conversions, or if you're unable to close it out, you take a loss. And that's, at this point in time of year, would be critical to, not allowing us to achieve our ultimate goal.
Speaking of third down conversions, Marquise Buchanan, he was out for a while in the game, but back in. He only had 2 catches, but both of them were on third and double digits. Talk about meaningful catches from him.
And it takes a village to be able to get those done. The protection has to be there. The quarterback has to find them. And I think he's been working through his progressions. But I mean, Marquise is a guy. I mean, he just continues to show up how the ball finds him. It's not like, we're identifying, hey, get this ball to Marquise. It's just, the coaches dial up a good play call and he reads the coverage and then, was able to deliver those balls. But they were huge. And I think a great testament to his toughness coming off a really wicked shot in the first half. Came back and performed and gave us the spark necessary to help us win.
And one more thing, if I could, Rob, Coach, a word about Rohan Davey, the CAA Defensive Player of the Week.
Rohan, I think he's been, you mentioned it. You put him on a radio show. Guys have good games, I guess. So we ought to start having radio shows every week instead of
bring them all in.
Yeah, no. We'll have you bring. We'll do it live and practice, and we won't worry about practicing. But no, I think he's been a really steady player for us. He's a big-hearted kid that doesn't have huge stature, but plays extremely hard and. That combination of to finish the game that way when we had a nice little twist game with Moses. He knocked the heck out of the quarterback, and because we're around the ball and playing hard, there was Rowan. He scooped it perfectly and was able to finish it off and get into the end zone. So he's been a great addition for us. It was a question mark going in, what we would do without Devin Hightower, but he's answered that very well and really looking forward to him continue to improve and add to our success.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Rob.
No problem. Question from Bill. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, guys. I hope everyone's well. Jim, I wanted to ask about Rohan and your defense. Your third Defensive Player of the Week honor this season. Just what is it about that unit that allows your guys to be playmakers the way they have been?
Well, I give great credit to our defensive staff. I think, you always look at the structure, you put them in positions to be able to make plays, and then you expect them to be where they're supposed to be. It's really a team defense. And then, and you don't, you start getting some individual accolades. It's because who's making the tackles. Well, those things are designed to get, the run game's designed to get to certain spots where we're able to let the second level defenders get there, and guys have had opportunities, when they come to make the plays that are the statistic plays that seem to get you these awards. I think, we gave our player of the week to Moses Muse, but, Rohan got the accolades as the conference player, and very proud of that for our team. But they do represent the group very well, and I think that because they play together and play hard, we've been able to have some successful performances.
Thanks,
Jim. Let's look ahead to Saturday. Albany next for your team. What are some of the challenges that they present for you?
Well, I think they're a hurt dog right now. I mean, I know Coach Ambrose. I respect him as a coach and a play caller. And I think that there's talent on both sides of the ball. I think that they've been, struggling through an early part of the season. They come through an off week. I know how he's going to react to that. He's going to get those guys ready, and it's going to be a different flavor team. I think we all recognize, that anybody can beat anybody in this league. I referred back to our whipping that we took down at James Madison way back when, 84-7. We had an off week we had to go through, and we were able to rally the troops and go down and beat Elon at Elon. So I think that that's where Coach will have his kids. I think that they've got some very solid players running around on both sides of the ball, and we've got to be able to play our brand of football and play really hard and tight and be better than we were last week if we expect to win.
All right, Jim. Thanks so much for doing this morning.